Starts at home with parents teaching their children, because one or two things is going to happen. Either you teach your children or the world is going to teach your kids. That's the reality of it.
They are learning about it at younger ages from some adult or even their peers who learned about it from adults. That is, in definition, indoctrination.
What's going on, ladies and gentlemen, and everything in between? I'm the right-winged angel, Oliver Mack, and in this video, we got to talk about this conversation I saw on YouTube between trans women and conservative women. Let's check it out. All right, so this comes from Jubilee. I think Jubilee does a great job of setting up these conversations between two opposing viewpoints. It's called Middle Ground. And this one, we have 3 trans women and then 3 conservative women. One of the conservative women works for PragerU. I cannot remember her name for the life of me. I think it's Amila something. I can't pronounce the last name, definitely. But let's check this out.
Step forward if you agree. The transgender movement is indoctrinating our youth.
We are seeing, especially on social media, on TikTok, you're seeing a lot of people in this community really just targeting children. And you're seeing drag shows, even in conservative states like Texas, and even just media, movies. Like, it seems like everything seems to be targeted at these kids. You have drag story hour for kids, and it's just really, I think, predatory in a way. And I'm not saying every trans person is doing this, but as a whole, there does seem to be a route that they're taking to get to the kids.
And when you hear
Absolutely, I 100% agree with what she said. It does seem like that. Nobody's trying to say that all trans people are this way, but when you have a lot of these drag story hours and these all ages drag shows, and they're doing sexual things in front of children, I don't know how anybody could be okay with that. But the only people who defend it are people on the left and then trans people. So but actually, let me not say that, because there are some trans people that are totally against this. So kudos to them, because anybody with 2 working eyes should be able to see that, hey, this is a problem and this should not be happening in front of children.
Blues Clues playing in the next room, and then you hear the gay parade song.
Yeah.
It's Blues Clues. You're not expecting to be talking to the children about that.
Yeah.
It really makes you wonder, are they really coming for the children?
And I think we see in our population now the rate of young children who are identifying as transgender, non-binary is skyrocketing. And I think there's something to be said for people who are truly experiencing gender dysphoria, which we recognize exists, and those who are experiencing what is now going to be called, or in the future going to be called, this social contagion gender dysphoria, where they're being exposed to it on social media or in school, or mom and dad are having a conversation about it with children, and children are now starting to develop gender confusion.
Or even babies, right? People who are being born, they don't have to put the gender on the birth certificate, and they're saying you can choose whatever you want to be. Like, that's so dangerous. And even lying to them, saying like, oh, if we put you on hormone blockers at this age, it won't do anything to your puberty, it won't affect you long term. And it's just a straight up lie. And there's like an entire Reddit thread dedicated to people who've transitioned, talking about how much they hate their life now because...
Absolutely. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut her off, but I don't know if they flagged this video, if I just let it keep playing, but I think whoever she is, I don't know her name, but she's amazing. She does a great job of articulating the points. I actually looked at her Instagram. She's a mom, a married woman with, I think, 2 kids. So when you have kids, it affects you a lot more, these things that are going on in our society, because you don't want your children to be exposed to that. Even though you don't bring your children to these child drag shows, there are people that your kids may go to school with that have been to these child drag shows, and then they tell your child about these drag shows, and then it's like, oh, I went to this wonderful thing, I had so much fun, right? Like, think about it. You're talking to the kid, or the kid is talking to another kid. My mom took me to this what it's called, a drag show, and it was so much fun. Oh my God, it was just the best thing ever. And they're telling your kid about that, and now your kid is like, really? I want to go to a drag show. And then you go and the child goes home and tells the parent, Mommy, Daddy, one of my friends was telling me that they went to a drag show and they had so much fun. It was like the best thing ever. Can I go to one? And then the parent tells the child, no, you can't go to a drag show. Those aren't for children. But Joey went to the drag show, so why can't I go to the drag show? His mom and dad took him to the drag show, so it must be for children. And then the parent has to go and tell, well, we don't believe in that. We don't believe that children should go to that. And then the kid goes back to the school, tells the other kid, my mommy and daddy says we don't believe in that, and I'm not able to go to a drag show. And then the kid tells the other kid, well, why not? I heard my mom say that if their parents don't allow them to go to these drag shows, then they're a bigot and they're a bad person. And then they tell their parents, well, since you won't let me go to the drag show, Joe, I think his name Joey. Joey said you're a bigot and you're a bad person, and I don't want to be around anybody that's a bad person. So you got stuff like that you got to deal with. So you can keep your kid away from it all you want, but they're going to be kids at school that are going to be into that. I mean, their parents are going to take them to that, and then now you got to confront this even though you didn't want to. That's why it's better to homeschool your kids.
As they transitioned as a child, and now they amputated off healthy body parts and are miserable.
All right. Can the disagreeer step forward?
The fact that the trans movement has got people shook has me so excited. The trans movement is not indoctrination.
Think about that. The fact that the trans movement has people shook, which means scared in black language, has people shook has me so excited. So the fact that people are talking about children being indoctrinated by people who look like you, you're excited about that? Why? These people, okay, let me not say anything.
Indoctrinating our youth. Our youth are understanding who they are at a younger age. And from what I was hearing over here is a lot of what y'all were saying, I wonder what you...
I'm sorry. They're understanding who they are at a younger age. If they were born with the penis, they're a boy. So them transitioning to be a girl is not understanding who they are. It's who they're not.
You say it to the parents, because we need to really look at what the parents of trans youth really go through. Trans youth, instead of them enjoying their life, playing with their friends, they're up in legislation trying to fight for basic rights here. 1 in 5 transgender youth have tried to commit suicide. Why are we trying to police?
Okay, this is the argument that I can't stand about the whole transgender thing, especially when you talk about transgender youth. They bring up suicide. Well, if a certain group of people, if you don't tell them what they want to hear, even though what they want to hear is not actually true, then they will kill themselves. I think there's a deeper issue than just gender. And that's the problem with this whole transgender movement. I think there's a lot of stuff going on the inside or in the head of these people that they don't explore because they're so focused on gender identity that they don't understand. Maybe this person may be depressed. Maybe this person may have some other kind of mental illness that is not being looked at because they're so focused on the gender identity part. So, I mean, if you got a kid that's experiencing this, please get them checked out by a psychiatrist, a licensed psychiatrist, somebody who's going to be able to help the child examine why they may be having these thoughts. Please.
Release them.
But you're bringing it only to the parents. The question was indoctrination in general. Am I correct? And then,
But they are part of that conversation. Someone said something about drag shows coming to schools or whatnot. The kids enjoyed it. The parents just had a problem with it. But that's their issue. It's only someone dressed in drag.
So if the kid enjoys smoking weed, you're just supposed to let them do it?
Reading a story.
Is
that could have
drag
been
not
anybody.
blackface for women? I see it as a caricature of womanhood.
But inherently
As
sexual.
I like her. I like her because that's exactly what are we thinking. Ooh, good job.
as well.
I have to agree with you guys. I do not like the drag queen social hours. I personally, as a trans person, didn't ever go to a drag show until I was about 40. I'm not for the sexualization of kids. Why are we not letting kids be kids and bringing sex into their lives so early?
I think it's predatory in general.
Thank you, ma'am, sir. Thank you so much. Like I told you, there's not all these people are into this, trying to sexualize children. So kudos to him or her, or whatever they identify as. But kudos.
To talk about sex with children,
Yeah.
straight sex, any kind of sex.
Who's teaching sex to third grade children? I really want to know.
Have you looked at the California curriculum for sex education? You need to.
I know that when I was in preschool, I got my first crush on a boy, because to me at the time, he was in kindergarten, he looked like Prince Eric from
Little Mermaid.
Yeah, Little Mermaid. I don't think like fucking him ever crossed my mind when I was 4, but obviously like it would have been good to know that like it's okay, like if you have these feelings for someone of the same sex.
When we think of youth in general, they're having sex at a lot younger age, whether we like it or not. Let's just keep it 100% real.
You don't think it's because of that?
I do not think it's because.
I don't like this person. I really don't. They're trying to, this person is somebody who would be called a groomer. When you talk about children having relations at a younger age, it has nothing to do with anything that's like normal or biology. If something has changed within children, if children are doing something different, it's not natural. It's because they've been conditioned in this way. It's because of what's in the media, the entertainment, the music, what parents are allowing children to be exposed to at a younger age. Now, I think parenting has gotten a lot worse. So since parenting has gotten a lot worse, then you're going to see children doing something that they shouldn't be doing at a young age, because a lot of parents, unfortunately, they suck. Parents have developed this thing where they want to be their child's friend. They don't want to stop their child from doing anything. They want their child to explore, and they have experiences that they shouldn't be having at a young age. You see the type of music that these parents let their kids listen to. The music is disgusting. It has foul language. It talks about sex. It talks about drugs. It talks about all this stuff. And the parents are perfectly fine with letting their kids listen to that. When I was a kid, I couldn't listen to music that had a parental advisory sticker on it until I was like 16, 17 years old. So I wasn't exposed to this music. Now, I listened to it behind my parents' back, unfortunately, but I didn't have a lot of it because I couldn't sneak that many CDs with parental advisory into the house. So it's parenting that causes children to experience things at a younger age. It's sad and it sucks, but this is what it is. And this person is glorifying that and saying, well, this is what we're supposed to do. The kids are interested in this at a younger age. Yeah, because of people like you.
Because of that. It starts at home with parents teaching their children. Because one
True.
or two things is going to happen. Either you teach your children or the world is going to teach your kids. That's the reality of it.
They are learning about it at younger ages from some adult, or even their peers who learned about it from adults. That is, in definition, indoctrination. As a mother, and seeing what my children are going to have to be introduced to at such a young age, like I didn't even know what a gay person was till I was like 12. And so they're going to be...
Facts. I didn't know what a gay person was until I wasn't even 12. I think I was like 16, 17. No. Let me back that up. I think I was like 15, because I went to an all-boy high school, and there were two guys that were kind of feminine. So a lot of the kids, the boys, made fun of the two guys because they were feminine. We called them, I forgot what the nickname was, but that's the first time that I heard about gay people. They got children hearing about being gay when they're like 4 or 5 years old. Some of them younger than that, because some of them have gay parents. So I just don't understand why people are acting like this just came out of nowhere. No, when we made certain things acceptable, then children became exposed to these things. And then more and more people identify as these things. And it's not because it just so happened that it happened that way, or because it's more acceptable that more people identify this way. A lot of these people were indoctrinated to be this way.
Having these really heavy adult conversations at a really young age just because of their exposure. And that is honestly just scary because I don't want to have those conversations. That's why I will be homeschooling my kids because I do believe it is my responsibility to protect them and shield them from the outside world, which is targeting children.
Facts, all facts. Thank you so much, young lady. I appreciate you. I'll link the video in the description section so y'all can check it out, but I don't want to play too much more of it. I just think it's great that they're having this conversation. I think we should have more of these conversations because there's a lot of people you've seen, you can look it up. Just do a Google search about people who detransition. They thought they were transgender and then they got older and they realized, no, I'm actually not. And now I regret removing my breasts. I regret having bottom surgery. I regret taking the hormones. I regret all that. But now it's too late. Now you're stuck with the decision that you made. And unfortunately, a lot of people go through this. But if we can get these people more help and have them understand, because there are a lot of doctors out there that just tell them, oh, you think you're a boy, but you think you're a girl? Okay, let's start you on hormones. Instead of having the conversation, well, why do you think that? Well, where did this come from? What did you do you know that there are girls that kind of dress like boys? They're more tomboyish, and they're not really girls stuck in boys' bodies or boys stuck in girls' bodies. They're just little tomboys. They like to wear baggy clothes. They don't like to wear tight clothes, and that's okay because you're still a girl, but you just dress a little different, and nobody's going to, make fun of you for that. There's a lot of cool tomboys out there that don't think they're a boy. And it was cool. Nobody had an issue with that. But they still like boys. So it is what it is. I've rambled on too long. I'm sorry. But I just think these conversations are very, very important. All right. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please hit the like button, share, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. All right. I'll catch you in the next video. I'm out. Peace.